I mean, Derrick Henry, he's a big factor, but their O-line, they still pretty good, and they still running the ball, as you can see. So we got a challenge ahead. We excited for it.
And what was one of your takeaways from watching their film from this past week?
I mean, like I said, they O-line, they pretty good. So we excited for the challenge.
That's kind of crazy. Y'all played this team twice in 3 years and avoided Derrick Henry both times.
I mean, it's football, next man up mentality. So
I know you weren't here a few years before you got here when Adrian Peterson was here, but I'm sure you grew up watching it. Is it kind of hard to believe that he's back in the league still doing it and maybe tackling it?
I mean, that's AP. He one of the better running backs that came through here. So, I mean, hard work. That just shows how much work he put in. So, props to him.
Sure, you guys weren't able to affect Matt Ryan the way you wanted to. How important is it to do it to Tannehill, especially with those two receivers?
I mean, once we get the opportunity, we got to take advantage of it. So, of course, we'd like to pick up our game and do more.
Do you pay attention to what's happening outside the building with like Odell and his free agency at all?
Nah, not really. Nah, not really. I mean, that's the offense. I play defense.
I know, but your team is your team.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if he came. So,
Is there a lot of talk about that in the building?
uh,
Just among the players and all that?
I mean,
I mean, I know you don't know anything.
that ain't. No, I mean that's for the people upstairs. We go in. We got Tennessee Titans next up, so that's what we worried about. If he is seeing this, Odell, we'd love to have you, man. We'd love to have you.
Send him a message right now. Go and say no.
Hey, man, who that? Hey, didn't he go to school at LSU? So we got good food, good people, good organization.
Yeah, he went to school here in New Orleans. High school. High school.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Chad, how much pride does your group take in your run defense? Sort of consistency and rankings and statistics, week in and week out, running backs haven't found a lot of room against you guys.
I mean, we pride ourselves on stopping the run, trying to make the offense one-dimensional. Most importantly is to win. So, I mean, screw all the stats. We just want to win. Do whatever it takes for the team to win.
Nashville's not super close to where you're from, but it's closer to here. You got any family going next week?
Well, I went to school in Tennessee, so
I know, but
yeah.
where you go to college is not your hometown.
I got some friends coming to the game, so I'm excited. Almost a homecoming.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks, buddy.
Sweet.
Good afternoon.
Traquan Smith's dirty laundry?
What happened?
You want to say anything about Traquan Smith that he wouldn't want to share?
From last week.
Y'all lame for posting that too, man.
That's funny.
Nah, we already had our discussion. So we had our little heated battle in the receiving room. So we worked it all out.
What is the conversation in the receiving room about that, I guess, the lack of consistent numbers receivers are putting up in this offense? Like, what do you put your finger on to get more production?
Honestly, it can't be put on nobody but us. You know, ain't nobody out there running the routes, getting open but us. So that has to be all on us. You know, we push each other, defense pushes us, and that's all we can do. I mean, with things not working out in our favor, like you said, with the lack of numbers going up, all we can do is go out and play the next play. So we're aware of that. I mean, we're hard on ourselves more than anybody. So we're aware of it, and we just try and go and do what we can.
How much is the idea of getting open part of the issue? I mean, we can obviously see when passes aren't completed, but the ones that aren't thrown. I mean, has that been something you guys have been pointing to this year, that guys need to get more open?
Yeah, you know, the offense is designed to go to, you know, where the playmakers are, and we can't get the ball to the playmakers. We can't get open, you know. So if defense is going to play us man, then that relies a big part on us of, you know, getting open, catching the ball. You know, Trevor stepped up, making some great throws, and we just got to come down with the ball. So I mean, we ain't got no excuse for it. It's just something we got to work on. I think that's what this week will be big on. You know, us getting familiar even more with Trevor or whoever's going to be back there, and just, you know, clicking on Sundays.
And how much of that has been part of your game this year? Like, where do you rate your ability to get open? How satisfied or unsatisfied are you with that?
I mean, it's always, you know, you always get better every week, and, you know, I'm not happy. I'm sure the team, the other receivers aren't satisfied with how they've been playing, but like I said, I can't speak for them. For myself, I know I'm always gonna get better, whether that's being more disciplined with watching film, being more disciplined, or being more patient, or speeding things up. Just more preparation on my end.
When Sean says we'll do some things to scheme better or you know, play call better, is that something you guys feel like is necessary? Do you feel like what's been there is sufficient enough, or do you look forward to him, I guess, adding some wrinkles?
I mean, anything that we can use for our advantage helps us tremendously, whether that's, you know, Coach Adamore, whatever he's saying he's doing, or that's us on our end watching more film or being more prepared. But any advantage we can use, we'll take it, and that's I guess I can speak for everybody, you know, offense and defense, whatever advantage we use or can get, that's what we'll use.
What do you think about the possibility of Odell Beckham maybe coming here?
Well, everybody know who he is, you know, he's not no little name anywhere, so a lot of, you know, we get it more from the fans than anybody else, you know, try to do our part to get Odell, but you know, Odell's smart, he's gonna go where he feels like he's most wanted, and he's from Louisiana, so, you know, everybody wants to come play for his home team, and, you know, we'll take him. I mean, we ain't never going to deny anybody, but, you know, this week, if he comes, then great. If he doesn't come, then that's great as well. You know, we got to work on getting prepared for Tennessee.
Just as a guy who's watched him, I'm sure you've seen him, you know, for the last 10 years, what do you think about his game? How do you view him?
Odell is a great player, you know, even for his size, you know, he's great, whether it's speed, getting open, catching the ball, obviously, you know, everybody sees the plays, and it's just a great person to be around. I've never met him or been around him, but, you know, his football character and his character personally, you know, everybody has their different views, and I'm not going to go off on them because I don't know him. So until that day comes where I meet him, then I can't really judge him on that.
On the separation thing, you mentioned preparation, watching film. What advantages can you get from watching film? And like, is that an area where you feel like personally, like you could do better? Like, is that why you're mentioning it?
I mean, was this week 10? Week 9, week 10? I mean, it's filmed for 10 weeks, you know, and everybody, for now, everybody got their tell, everybody's DNA and reputation is on film. So whether it's press off, the small details that they do, how they play things. You know, there's hundreds of routes ran on them, same ones we run. So just watching it from the last game to the first game we played, see if anything's changed, anything's happening, just things like that.
The Titans have forced like 12 turnovers in the last 6 games. How important is ball security for y'all this weekend? Just like, do you see anything on film that they're consistently doing to cause those turnovers?
Right, their defense has been playing lights out. You know, watching film on them, we see everything from the interceptions, the aggressiveness of punching the ball out, and you know, Sean, of course, been preaching it, and our receiver coach has been preaching it. So we know it's a big thing that's gonna either make or break us. So every time before we start the meetings, you know, we work on ball security in the room, whether we punching at it or just have the ball in our hand and having somebody knack at us. But it's been crucial for us to, you know, take care of the ball, and that's what we're gonna do this week.
This may sound like a dumb question, but how do receivers go about if they've got, issues, if they're dropping the ball or the hands aren't right? Like, how do you go about fixing that? Is that just technique and working on hand placement? Is that reps with quarterbacks? Like, how do you go about fixing it?
I mean, in this league, if you're a receiver, you can catch. I mean, you wouldn't be in the league if you can't catch. So it's not a catching thing. It's just more detailed, more focus. I think focus is the biggest thing, and getting used to everything that's going, because Trevor throws different from Taysom. Jameis throws different from Ian. So everybody's different. So just being on the same page with them and just being more focused.
What have been your impressions with Jack Rabbit? I know when you seen him last year, just kind of watching him on film.
Jack Rabbit, you know, he's been playing good as well. We notice him. You can see him all on film, rather how they play, him and all the other DBs, or how they play. So focusing mainly on Jack Rabbit, I don't think that's what we've been focused on. We've been focused on how they play cover 2, how they play man. Are they bailing? Are they zoning? Are they cutting on the over routes? Just seeing how the details that they play and have shown. And I mean, who knows? We could go out there and they play a whole different scheme, but just what they've shown on film and how we've been watching it, that's kind of what we're going on.
I'm curious, can you guys hear the outside noise? I mean, I know you're focused on the game, but social media, it is what it is in this world we're in. Do you hear any of that? Is it human nature to be bothered by it at all, about fans or criticisms like that? Of
course we hear it. I mean, it's not like we don't see it, you know. If they say they don't see it, I highly doubt it. But, you know, people gonna say what they're gonna say. People gonna do what they wanna do. We just gotta be mentally strong, mentally focused, because they're not in here with us, you know. They're not on the field with us. They're not in meetings with us. They're not doing the things we're doing. It's just an outside noise talking on something that they don't know anything about. That's how we look at it. Like, we just go out there, do what we can do. We play for each other. We play for the team. We play for each other that's on the field. I mean, everything else is, like you said, just outside noise. Go in one ear, one.
When your head coach comes out, and we talked to him last week, and he talked about how much you love your room and how much confidence he has in you. I assume that helps.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it helps knowing that, you know, the head coach is, you know, trust us, and that's what ultimately it's all about, is trust. I mean, if they don't trust us, then we wouldn't be here, you know. Now the thing is, moving forward, how can we trust us even more? What can we do for the quarterbacks to trust us even more? So our biggest thing is getting to know each other in that way, so we know why we're doing what we're doing.
Back to his original question. I mean, you're all human, right? So how do you take care of yourselves? Like, how much of a priority is your mental health when you've got people talking sideways on social media?
Mental health is important. I mean, I think it's over half of the battle, you know, because this job isn't for everybody, not just on the body, but on your brain, because especially for the quarterback, honestly, I don't know how the quarterback can do it. You know, they back there getting pressure, getting rushed by big 300 linemen and still got to go through the progression, still got to make the mic call, still got to do things. So just being out there and knowing that, I think knowing each other's why and knowing each other as a person is definitely better than, the football person, because if you know that, then you're definitely going to do a little bit more extra for that person. And I think that goes with anything. We'll talk about all the time, how you doing, how's your head, how's your mental, how's the family, how's everything else. Just trying to get your mind off of football, because, this is stressful, and like all the criticism, all the outside noise, all the yelling at, you hear it, human nature, you hear it, but the biggest thing is, what are you going to do? Is it going to stop you? Are you going to let it affect you? I look at it, I see it all the time. Every day, you see some DM talking about, you suck, we hate you, cursing you out and things like that. And are you going to let that affect you, or are you just going to keep it moving? So just how you view it, how you go on about it, basically determines it.
People actually DM you that?
You'll be surprised.
Really? And do you know, can you block them, or you just let it go over your head?
I don't be looking at it. Look at it and be like, oh, okay, and keep going.
Is it worse at this level than it was in college? Second.
That's a great question.
I know you be big time college too.
Right. It's gonna happen wherever you go. People, you're gonna do something people don't like. You're gonna do something people like, and they're gonna say what they're gonna say. You do what you want. It's social media. Everybody big on social media, so I just see it, laugh about it, and keep going. Cause I don't care. You can say what you want. You ain't gonna affect me. If you know me or don't know me, y'all know ain't nothing gonna really bother me, especially words. Like, I don't care. So, is it wasting time and energy?
Nobody ever in public though.
Who? Oh.
Anybody ever in public?
No.
Just track one.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, I'll lame for posting that too.
It's live stream, but you're on camera right now, live, man.
It's funny, it's getting posted. Well, thanks. Thank you, bud. Thank you.
What does it mean to you that you're the Saints' nominee for the Salute to Service Award this year?
It's a tremendous honor. I have a lot of family members that have served in pretty much all the areas, Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force. I've had family members, including my dad, do multiple tours. And so the military and what they mean to our country, those are real life, everyday huge freedom and so much more. And so I've just always grown up understanding that, the importance of that, and the appreciation for them, but not just my family members, but to all who have, served our country. I just think there's not enough recognition and honor and praise that we can give those individuals, and so it's a tremendous honor and something that that I care about deeply and take very seriously.
Did you know Odell Beckham at all from your time in New York? And do you have any opinion whether you'd like to see him come here?
That was I never played with him as a teammate, I should say. But it's he's been one of the most dynamic receivers in the league, and I don't know any player on any team that don't want to play with other great players. And so But I trust our organization. They do, what they feel is best for our team. I know they're going to do that. And they always put us in position to win, and so I trust them above anything. But I guess in short, I love to play with other great players, and he is certainly a great player.
How important is it, DeMar, as a leader of this team and part of the culture that you all fostered here, to be able to have that as a selling point? I mean, it seems to me like players around the league probably talk and where they'd like to play, and you all have done a great job, it seems like, of making this almost a destination for other players. How important is that for you and for this organization to be able to have a winning culture and a team-first culture like you'll be able to have?
Well, I think that's what our culture is exactly, a winning culture. Our culture is based on winning, from the top to the bottom. That's the most important thing in the building, is winning, and it's how we get those wins that's most important. It's our process, the way we approach the week, our details in that process, and I think it's focusing on what's in front of you. We have the Titans this week, and so we locked in on those details, and you just don't have the luxury to get caught up in anything else. And anybody who likes to win, hopefully that's attractive to them. But we don't have time to, especially in these times, to get caught up in all that. We have to be locked in on our process and our details, and that's why we win.
I've heard you say that some other players have come in here initially from outside and said, like, man, this is more intense than maybe other places. Was it you or someone else that said that?
Yeah. I mean, once you get into our practices and the way that we practice, and the attention to detail, and what that toll that's going to take on you mentally and physically, especially when people get here, in training camp or off season, and early in the season, some of our practices are a lot more physical. But even week 8 it's a mental grind. Understanding situationally what you're going to get, and the tweaks that we make in our meetings, and then being able to have to take that to the practice field quickly. I've been in other organizations, and it's not like that everywhere. It takes a little bit to adapt to when you first get here, but I think the first thing people understand quickly, a week or two in, is, oh, okay, well, this is why they're successful, this is why they win. And we have to continue to press into those details. We have to continue to make that process even better, if we want to continue to have that success.
Mario, I'm not sure how many times you've played against him, or if you played against him, but how amazing to see Adrian Peterson still going, and also just what stands out about him to you?
Yeah, when you look at the running back offensively, and how physical of that position that is, with the amount of miles that they have to run, and all the banging going on in their body at the same time, for him to still be, running strong at this point in his career, it just speaks to him. How talented of an individual he is, how much of a pro he is. That team still want him in their locker room. It speaks to how well he takes care of his body. It just you're looking at a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's still going strong. So just kudos and respect to him.
Without Derrick Henry, does their offense look any different? What are you seeing on tape there that he's out for a little while?
Well, they're a very talented team, well-coached team. Coach Vrabel has those guys playing very hard. You could tell that he's built a very physical team, offensively and defensively, and so that's their MO. And anytime you're a physical attack team and you want to run the ball, you're not just gonna be able to do that with one guy. You gotta, even though you have, one of the top backs, if not the best back in the league, you still gonna have to have other guys that can get the job done. And they have a good running back by committee. They have a lot of guys who can come in behind him and get the job done. And some explosive receivers, really good offensive line, and so they present a lot of challenges. Not to mention you got Tannehill playing at a very high level and keeping the offense in good situations and making smart decisions and letting it fly when he need to. So they present a lot of challenges. It's a well-built team, and you've seen the success that they've had in the past few years. So it just speaks to how well they're coached and the type of players that they have at multiple positions.
Your event the other night, you had plenty of teammates show up, but Jameis in his suit and a big hulking knee brace. How much did that mean to you to see him come out, even though he could be resting and not doing anything right now?
One thing about Jameis, I say it over and over, and many people will probably echo as you go all the way back to Florida State or Tampa Bay. Jameis is one of the greatest teammates ever. It's not even close. And I think it comes from just how much he loves the game and he loves his teammates. And he just got one of those personalities. He's just a joy to be around. And none of us was expecting him to be there, but he still showed up and wanted to be a part of it, and you appreciate stuff like this. I think long after this game is done, as many highs and lows as this game bring, it's the brotherhood of the locker room that's always going to be what's most appreciated. You talk to anybody that's left the game, it's like a fraternity. And so when you talk to all the guys who've retired and walked away from the game, they all say the same thing. You never forget the brothers that you played the game with, the bond that you had in the locker room, that camaraderie. And it's moments like that, him showing up to the event, that's something I'll never forget. It meant a lot to me, it meant a lot to my wife, and so he's just a great teammate. It just speaks to who he is in the midst of the adversity that he's going through, When somebody loves the game as much as he loves the game and that's taken away from him, that's hard. But you will never see that when you see him. You will never see him talk about that. You will never see him express that. He's gonna have a smile on his face. But it's pain in the inside. And so for him to be able to push through that, I think you learn a lot about people when they have success, but you learn the most about people when they go through adversity. And it just speaks to the type of character that he has, and that's a brother for life.
Mark, did you grow up a big Titans fan, just being related to Steve at all?
I was a huge Titan fan. Disappointed watching the Rams beat them in the Super Bowl 1 yard short. Yeah, I grew up. I wouldn't say necessarily a Titans fan. I was Steve McNair fan, but Eddie George, Dyson, Frank Wycheck. Yeah, I was locked in, man. We was all watching for them to win that Super Bowl, and they just a yard short. So, that's family.
You just said you're disappointed that one of the greatest linebacker plays in NFL history.
Huh?
You're disappointed to see one of the greatest linebacker plays?
Oh man, I was an offensive guy then, and man, that was crushing. That was crushing, but yeah.
What attracted you about McNair? What was it about him you admired?
Well, I mean, it was my first cousin, so. When you got a relative in the NFL, everybody in the family paying attention to everything that was going on. But I mean, coming up in Mississippi, he was the closest thing to Jesus. That name Eric McNair, he could do it all. Run, throw. When you look at the type of player that he was in college and all the records that he was breaking, he could do no wrong. But it was even more so the type of person that he was off the field that was amazing. He did so much for the community. He did so much for the area that he was in Mount Olive, Mississippi, and throughout the state. And I think anybody that knew him, you know, would talk about him as a person more than the player. And so he just did so much for so many people. And so I just grew up as a kid kind of watching that. And it was just it was inspiring to me, and a big reason of why, you know, I had that same dream of wanting to make it to the league.
Time for one more.
I got one, just the run defense. Obviously, the Saints' run defense reputation is going to precede it now with your ranking and numbers. But how committed have you found opponents to be in running against you so far this season? And is there any reason to expect the Titans to approach it any differently than the previous opponents have?
I don't think we played a team yet that wasn't committed to the run or abandoned, you know, the run, you know, mid-game. You know, all the teams try, and they just, you know, haven't had much success. And so, you know, in a game, you know, as coaching, you're just gonna go to what's working for you, and that's obviously not working. And I mean, for us, that's where our details have to be, you know, better. Is we need that same mentality in all areas, you know. And so when you're able to come in and make teams one-dimensional, you got to be able to take out whatever else is coming, you know. And so when we do that, we're very successful. When we don't, you know, we still leave teams in the game, and so that's where our mindset is. It's on those details, you know, not just in, you know, being top in the run, but understanding, you know, what passes we get in drop back situations, you know, play actions and stuff like that as well.
Great, thanks guys.
All right, thank you guys. God bless.
That would be your impression of Jeffrey Simmons.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Your impression of Jeffrey Simmons.
Great player, run and pass. He can do everything. You know, he's been a force really all season long. So, you know, we got a big challenge in him, and know what kind of player he is, and we gotta rise to that challenge and you know, take care of him.
The Titans have forced like 12 turnovers in the last 6 games.
Yep.
How important is focusing on ball security this week, and are they doing anything specific that stands out on film too?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a great job. Forcing fumbles is such an intentional thing. You know, I think occasionally you might wrap a guy up and the ball comes out, but you know, what they've been able to do recently has been pretty impressive. They're getting the ball out all over the field. A bunch of different guys have been able to do it. So it's something that we're aware of, and in any game, the turnover battle is so crucial, and we know that. And we just got to protect the football, you know, in the air and carrying the ball on the ground.
And James, I know you, excuse me, I know you joked and said that you go to your favorite coffee shop. Do people know who you are, and do they want to talk about Odell coming to the Saints?
I feel like everyone wants to talk about that, right? You know, I haven't had that personally yet, so we'll see if that picks up any steam here soon.
What do you think about that possibility? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. Any team he goes to, you know, you have a player like that, it's going to attract a lot of attention. He's obviously made incredible catches in his career. So, you know, I don't think too deeply about those things. I just leave it to the people upstairs. Know that they'll handle it and you know, put our team in the best situation to win games.
James, speaking of mid-season additions that provided a spark, played with Mark Ingram twice now.
Yep.
Is his, like, I guess, relentless energy level, and is he still the same player that you saw?
Yeah, same player, and same player that I heard about first time around in New Orleans. Contagious energy, love to be around him. He's always got juice. He's always bringing guys up, bringing guys, you know, alongside him. So it's great to have someone like that. And obviously, you know, he's making a lot of plays on the field as well. So it's a big boost to the locker room and to us on the field.
Not all the holding penalties last week were on the offensive line, but now that you all have watched the film, what was some of the breakdown on some of those calls? You know, how does that get fixed?
Yeah, you just have to try to see it from the ref's point of view. You have to try to understand why they throw the flag when they throw the flag and what you can do better. And it's basics of football at the end of the day. For us, hands inside, player breaks away, we let go. And some things, it's bang, bang, it happens real fast. And sometimes, you really feel like you can correct them. So you just go back and look at them, each one as an individual play and see what, if anything, you can do better to avoid that in the future.
That hadn't really been an issue for y'all this season. Do y'all feel like last week was an anomaly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that we've had guys that have played a lot of football, and that hasn't been, I don't think, anyone's MO. So yeah, I think having the penalties we had, it was unusual for us and a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a problem. You can't have those penalties. We killed so much momentum multiple times, and that's really what resulted in the type of game that we ended up playing.
Would you say that when you watched them that those seemed justified, where maybe you were kicking yourself, or were you looking at them going, I can't believe we got called on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to concern yourself with, well, why did they throw it, or feeling like, I don't feel like I did what they said I did. But at the end of the day, they're not picking up the flag. So try not to waste energy on, I guess, complaining or living in the past, and just moving on and, talking to the refs. They're good at talking with us about, hey, this is why I threw it. This is what I saw. And you just adjust. You adjust on the fly. You understand what they're seeing, what they saw, and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
What have your impressions been of the Superdome now that you've got crowds?
Man, it's awesome. It's electric. It's the best environment I've played in. Just having those people, the chant, the Who Dat chant's unbelievable. Love it. Love every part of it. We gotta win those games at home for sure.
And I know you weren't here in 2017, but how crazy is it that Adrian Peterson, Alan Kamara, and Mark Allen are just saying?
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw they picked up Adrian, and that guy's been doing, I don't even know what year he's in now, but he's been doing it forever as far as I'm concerned, and still at a high level. So it's crazy to have all three of those guys, on the same field playing and still making the impact that they're making.
What do you make of the fact that the team's 5-3 here? Just kind of going back through the losses. 2 of the losses were at home, and in both of those games you actually led the game with less than a minute to go.
Yep.
What does that tell you about how the potential of the team going forward, even with all the injuries you've had?
I think there's a lot of hope. Those losses, I think there were 2 different losses in the way that the games kind of played out. The Giants, kind of led the whole game, and we didn't put it away. We had them where we wanted them, had a lead late, but we're just unable to put them away. And then, this past one, really, we weren't moving the ball. We weren't doing a whole lot the majority of the game, and then kind of caught a little fire there at the end. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a, the Falcons too little too late, and then the Giants, you have a chance, you have them where you want, you got to put them away. So there's 2 different lessons, I think, that we've learned from those. But they're both losses, and so we've tried to, pick up those lessons and bring them with us, and they'll, what we learn in those games is going to play a big part down the stretch of the season.
Any thoughts on just the fact that I think you're 4-1 outside of the Superdome, where you're playing this week, 1-2 inside, yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems, this is probably not what you would have expected.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think if you try to predict it, it's probably not what you look at. But I think that just says how tight the NFL is. A team might be 1-15, and a team might be 15-1, but it's any given Sunday. These are all NFL players, and everyone's coming to get a win. So if you don't show up, or if you get lazy or get comfortable, you're going to be exposed. And I think you see that every single year for sure. So I think the records home and away, it's just kind of, it's something we already know. It's the NFL. You gotta show up, you gotta perform, or you're not gonna win.
What stood out to you about Sunday's film from the Titans?
Against the Rams?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shoot, it kind of seemed like they had their way. It was a very impressive showing, particularly by their defense. And I think it shows that this is going to be a huge challenge for our offense. We know that it's a great defense. They got a great front. made a lot of plays, been turning the ball over. So they've been doing a lot really well lately. And it's exciting to play in these situations. You know you got a challenge, and you know it's up to us. You know, I'm speaking about the O-line, I guess, but it's up to us to go out and get the job done and help the team win, and that's exciting to have that kind of opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.